Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Brayman, and I have decided to go tiny, to go from the McMansion to a little tiny house. And it's all her fault.
That's right. I take full blame. I'm Heather. I'm his daughter. I'm 25, and I am a nature lover and adventure photographer.
So what happened is she starts watching all these tiny house videos and thinking she wants to do a tiny house at some point. She gets out on her own and does her adventure life and all this kind of stuff. And we were just having fun watching videos together as a family. And then the wife and I, her mother, started watching more of these and started thinking, could we actually do this?
We both always loved architecture. It runs in the family.
So what we want to do is share with you, how do we see this working? How can this possibly work for a physician and his wife, family, and for someone who's 25 years old and starting out in life, which may be a little bit of an easier jump.
Yeah.
So one of the things for us is we just want to downsize. We have too much stuff. We have too much space. And we don't want to fuss with it. We don't want to worry about it. It's just too much. And we want to be responsible citizens on this beautiful blue and green planet that we call Earth and call home. So how do we go from this pathway that's wasteful and destroying things to one that's more responsible?
So for me as a young adult, I know that living expenses have just skyrocketed. They're just continuing to go up. And a lot of times, people in their mid-20s or 20s in general are really wanting their own space. They're wanting to have like their own house, and it's impossible. It's not affordable. So a lot of people my age are having to rent, and they can't save money towards their actual place, or they do buy a regular house and they're in debt for who knows how long.
And then you look at the price of rent these days, and I don't know about the rest of the country or where you particularly live, but here in Oregon it has gone nuts. Rent, property, housing is very scarce. It's very expensive. Everybody's moved up here from California. Bless your hearts.
We will not point out Oregon to you on the map.
If you don't yet know where Oregon is, we're not going to tell you.
That's right.
So she's thinking about it for cost in this crazy starting out place. It's also crazy expensive for us. And even as a physician, I've been doing all kinds of nonprofit stuff, which puts us at a disadvantage financially. We don't want to be wasting our money on a big fancy house, much of which we don't use, and we want more freedom and flexibility and to be more financially responsible as well as planetarily responsible.
And I can personally say from experience that, living in the house that we've been in since I was 18, it is a headache to try to keep up and maintain and clean. And that's part of what got me thinking about going tiny as well.
And so you don't want a house, you're just spending your time cleaning and taking care of. You want to be out adventuring.
Yes.
Got my place, it's cool, it's awesome, I'm out.
Tiny space, actually, in my mind, it forces you to be closer together, but I also believe that makes you feel the need for more space in a sense. So it forces you to go outside. And that's super healthy. It's good to exercise, it's good to go explore, and those are stress reducers too.
There you go, lifestyle medicine. So a big part of this also for us as setting an example, sort of blazing a path, helping other people. How do we optimize life? How do we have freedom? How do we spend our time on what really matters? I don't want to spend a big part of my life, a big percentage, just fussing with stuff. I want to be spending it with people we love and care about and enjoy, and being out in nature and thriving, and not just being wasteful and busy.
I think another factor is creativity, freedom. To do what you want and to actually design something that's specifically meant for you. So versatility is another big thing with the tiny houses. You can, take a tiny house, you can live in it, but you can also use it for a small business. You could use it for an Airbnb in the future. You could put it on land to live in, while you're saving up to build something else. Or, just in general, you don't have those same housing fees if you're having a tiny house that's mobile.
Cool. So I think one of the things that appeal to both of us, we're both the creative sort, the ability to customize. Now, obviously, if you're having your own house built, if you can afford it these days, if you're living in an apartment, too bad, so sad. Customization is really limited in housing these days, and with tiny houses, you can get creative. You can do some pretty cool stuff. If you've watched any of the tiny house videos, you've probably seen a bunch of that.
We're crazy about them.
So the potential to make it truly your space, to be inventive, to figure things out, is a lot of the fun. And a lot of life is the journey and the process, not just the stuff and the destination.
So I think a big thing that would increase my happiness is the fact that going tiny really forces you to focus on what is essential, like the things that you truly need in your life. And that means you have to get rid of a lot of your stuff. You start realizing what you really can live without and don't truly need. And that also enables you to not have to worry about all this stuff. You don't have to manage it. You don't have to take it with you everywhere. And so that cuts down on stress quite a bit. At least it does for me.
And if you're going to do anything like this kind of process and downsize, it will take a lot more work than you think. Most of us have so much junk, and just having to deal with it and get rid of it is a lot of work.
Don't underestimate. You may even cry just a little bit.
But once you get through it, the burden that you lose is pretty cool. We're not all the way through it yet, but we've started.
The amount of
So
freedom,
we're in process.
The amount of freedom that you experience once you actually are able to let go of all that stuff is amazing. It will be amazing.
One of the things about stress is a lot of stress is just our environment. And what the science shows is that a simple, clean environment is much less stressful than a busy, messy, stuffed environment, if you will.
It's a spider. Sorry. Sorry. You might have gone on me.
Spiders will be with you no matter big or small, unfortunately.
But if you have a tiny house, there's less space for them to get away in. Sorry. But like it was going, and
Thank you for saving me,
yeah,
I think.
I would want the same done for me. Heaven forbid I'd lose it.
So one of the best things you can do to de-stress your life is to simplify. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Starting with, and especially regarding where you live and how you live. So a big part of this for us, and that I would encourage other people to do, is to look at your life and how you can simplify. So what we're planning to do with this is sort of do a little series of videos at each step as we go through this journey of going from the typical McMansion to the tiny house process. So stay tuned, it should be a lot of fun. And again, the joy is in the journey.
So we're going to be doing a series on our own personal journey, which is obviously still going on. We don't have everything figured out, but we are figuring it out as we go, and we would like to share these helpful facts that we have picked up with you guys so that you can follow along and become a lot more informed on what is also possible for you. So what we would like you to do at this point is we would like you to go and click the little notification button so that you'll know when we post a new video. You hit the subscribe. And feel free to comment and ask questions because we will, or at least I will be, replying and interacting and, trying to make friends with you guys.
And we would have fun sharing the journey with you. And again, a big part of what we're doing is to figure out how we can help other people do good things in life and have more life.
We want you to be happy. A McMansion. Sounds like a McMuffin or McDonald's.
Yeah,
Bigger's
same kind
better.
of idea.
Bigger's
Don't do
better. You should explain that.
it. McMansion?
Yeah. I've never heard that term before. Maybe it's because of my age, but I've never.
McMansion. I don't know who made it up. Supersize me. It's
There
too
we
much. It's artificial. It's unnecessary. Don't do it.
Bigger's not better, all right?
Less is more.